Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys? I know you're watching us from. I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's match day 33 for the club of Man United. Is it 33? Yeah, because we've been left with 8 games to go, and right now we are left with this one and some other 5 games to come into the ilk of Man United. So guys, where are you watching us from? You know, we've gonna hit to coming through to an evening where Erik ten Hag is gonna hit to name the starting 11 for the club of Man United. As injuries keep surging at the club of Man United, we have nothing to do. We have to keep moving on to see how the best of this is really gonna pan out at the club of Man United. So do the needful, smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Sheffield has also gonna hit to name its starting 11, and here I come to obviously bring you how everything is really gonna be in here for you. So that is the starting 11 for the club of Man United. That is the starting 11 that Ten Hag is gonna hit to name to obviously face the side of Sheffield United at Old Trafford. And we're having Andre Onana, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Rasmus Højlund. Then there is Eriksson, there is Garnacho, Casemiro, Antony, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Kobe Mainoo. It's the exact lineup that I went ahead to put up in the match preview earlier this morning that the manager is really gonna come in through and really flaunt to obviously see to it that Man United takes on the side of Sheffield. The bench has Bendeir, Amas, Jackson, Oguneye, Amad Diallo, Amrabat is back, Fosun, McTominay is on the bench, and Whitley. That is the bench of Manchester United. And it really raises lots of questions as to why Amrabat cannot get into the starting 11 and you get in Eriksson, because when you look at the physicality of these players of Sheffield, I think they are really having a very big go, you know, in that midfield, and the physicality levels are really going to be high. And this is where you ask yourself a little bit. That's why I tell you that sometimes Erik ten Hag does things that really cost his job, and we need to see to it that we really tarnish out all these people from the starting 11 of Man United and really get going into a proper way. Now we go into the starting 11 for the side of Sheffield. For Deringen, Trusty, Hammer, Archer, Brereton Diaz, you know, Ahmeduzic, Borgo, Osborne, Balista, Holgate, and Brooks. That is the starting 11 for the side of Sheffield. So that is what Sheffield have in the mix. Then the bench: Gabrix, Norwood, Souza, Slimani, Laluiki, Makate, Curtis, Osula, Hampson. That is the starting 11 for the side of Sheffield United as they get into shape to obviously face Manchester United. Manchester United comes to this game of football when all they need is a win. All what Man United need is a win, as I told you, that for me, I don't care how we win. All I want is to see us win. That's me. I don't care how we win, but all I want to see is Man United winning. And whether we win ugly or we win good, all I want is a win. That's what I want. I don't want anything else. All I want is a win. And you know what it means, winning, because when you win, there is a momentum that you go ahead to obviously get in there for you. And I've gone ahead to see Jason Will. Let me show you this guy. He is the new technical director for the club of Man United. He has gone ahead to obviously arrive at Old Trafford to see to it that we really go ahead and really play into the best team of football, as we obviously try to put in a very good shift into the club of Man United. But huge youngsters that went ahead obviously win the under-18 trophy are into the mix at the Old Trafford, and we'll wait to see how Ten Hag is going to integrate them. There is a story that came in through earlier today implicating that Jason Willox has gone ahead to obviously tell Erik ten Hag that you should be playing like this. If not, I'm going to sack you. And I felt like I shouldn't even be making a mention about it, because whichever journalist went ahead to put out that story is really very naive. In this modern era of football, all what you have to do is simple. You need to put in time. That's why teams go ahead and really carry out what we call pre-seasons. Teams do pre-seasons for one reason, to really build up the style of play that they want. You understand? So let no one lie to you that Manchester United has gone ahead and really told Erik ten Hag that he should be playing like this. If a style of play is to be really instilled in this team, it should be worked on during the preseason, and they should get in the right players that should get the manager to play that style of system, that style of football. That is it. So that is Jason Willox. He is the new technical director for the club of Man United from Southampton. The deal is done and dusted. Now we are waiting for Dan Ashworth to obviously arrive from Newcastle, as negotiations are really ongoing. And Man United are working against the clock to get him in to join this lad, such that we really have a very huge summer transfer window. But as per now, it's Omar Berada and Jason Willox that are going to be conducting the summer transfer business for the club of Manchester United. Those are the facts that we're getting in from the archives of Man United, or from our flies onto our wall. That is it. Now, let's go into the system that Erik ten Hag is going to deploy to take on the side of Sheffield in here. And we are gonna stand as follows. Onana in between the stitches for the club of Man United, obviously. And he's really going to be having a very huge go down at the Old Trafford, you know. But I'm loving how he really plays. Dallo, a man who went ahead to obviously get himself an assist, you know, in the FA Cup over the weekend, comes in through, obviously coming through to start as the right back. And remember, Rasmus Højlund is bitter with him because he doesn't really look out for him. But I think it has only been once since Dallo never went ahead to look out for Diego Dallo. You know, I think it was the game of Bournemouth, where we would have gone ahead to take the lead and went ahead to go in. I think it was supposed to be an equalizer, and Dallo went in for a shot that was really uncalled for. It Rasmus Højlund just needed a cutback from Dallo, you know. But I think Dallo is doing good. He's doing good. Then Aaron Wan-Bissaka, left back, a man who really had lots of problems in that game of Coventry City. He needs to raise up to the occasion to see to it that he keeps himself into the right position. Casemiro and Maguire stay in that central defense because we are only having one fully fit central defender. And this is where you ask yourself that this kind of journalism reporting that is really very stupid and naive. How can a person come out and tell a manager that you should be playing like this? If not, I'm going to sack you. When he has gone ahead to come in the job, he hasn't even gone ahead to do the full assessment of the club. And one thing that welcomes him is the set of injuries that Manchester United are really having. And after solving the problems at the board level of Man United, the next thing that Man United has to do is simple. Manchester United should find themselves doing what we call an assessment onto why you've gone ahead to be having very many injuries. That is the hugest assessment that this club of Man United will ever make. We need to know, why are we having these injuries? That is it. That assessment should be done by the club of Man United, and results should be shown. So you cannot come out and tell manager that he should be playing like this when that manager is really having problems in his central defense. You know, only one fully fit central defender. You know, his midfield is really very lazy, you know, and he doesn't have a bench. Now, you tell him to play like that, the game requires a lot of intensity. How is he going to manage? Because Ten Hag also told us that it's hard to obviously deal with a team that doesn't have substitutes, to obviously get off the bench and really include them into the team. You understand? Eriksen and Kobbie Mainoo into that double pivot. I worry a little bit about Eriksen. That's why when I was starting this video, I said, I think I trust Amrabat in this game ahead of Eriksen, because Eriksen is really weak, and we've gone ahead to say to it that he cannot really offer us what we deserve. You saw him in the game of Coventry City when they brought him on. Looked like he was not in the game. That is it. I think the only big thing he did was taking a penalty, but he looked like he wasn't in the game. And we have to admit that Eriksen's head is no longer at Old Trafford. It's way off Old Trafford, and it's thinking some other things, because he knows to it that the manager is going to have to bench him because of the coming in through of Kobbie Mainoo, and he cannot really get to the team. But the injuries are going to have to give him a way through to really pave into the team of Man United. But I'm really very doubtful about him. I mean, the field is going to be porous. But for Kobbie Mainoo, I know he's really going to do the job. He's really going to do the job, and I think he's going to be playing as a CDM, and Eriksson is going to be played as a box-to-box midfielder. But all I know is that Eriksson, playing to this game, he's going to really give us what we call control of the game in the midfield, because he's good at ball orientation, he's good at passing, and he's that kind of player that you'll trust whenever you really have the ball. But the problem will always coming in through when you don't have the ball. That's why Bruno Fernandes shouldn't be making runs to the outside right and out wide left. I hate that. All he has to do is to run and obviously coming through as an extra man to obviously help us here. You remember the beginning of the season, we conceded very many goals because we never had a person playing here at the edge of Vitinha's box area. As Casemiro went ahead to commit himself in the box, Eriksson couldn't obviously manage this space. So Eriksson is going to be doing the same thing. So to prevent all that, Bruno has to be making only central axis to and fro runs. That's what Bruno has to be making. The moment Bruno starts to run to go ahead and really help Garnacho, yet Garnacho can help himself and Antony, then we are gonna really find ourselves really in trouble in this space, because this space has gonna hit to disturb us a lot. As Andreas Pereira, a player that plays for Fulham, came out and really confirmed us that last season they played Man United. They are so much compact in the midfield, but this season it was easy to play against them because they are very porous, very open. So we need Bruno Fernandes to do the needful. But one thing you should know about Bruno Fernandes, he has gonna hit to find himself in a position of really being in an ilk of levels of scoring in the previous 4 games. Against Chelsea, against Liverpool, Bournemouth he scored a brace, Coventry City he scored 1. So he has gonna hit to score 5 goals in his previous 4 games. And all I know about Bruno Fernandes is today he's one of those players I can bet on that they are gonna come up and really do the needful of really scoring goals. That is it. But I want to see him really link up with Rasmus Højlund. Bruno Fernandes, please release this man, because for Rasmus Højlund, when he drops deep and does the link up play and Bruno is up front, he really releases him. Bruno Fernandes, please, like you did in the 70, was it the 83rd minute, 84th minute when you're playing Coventry City, to release Rasmus Højlund. Go ahead and do it again. Just do it again, and the rest will be history. Alejandro Garnacho returning from injury. I want him to play, and I'm really excited about Marcus Rashford missing out on this encounter. And if there is anything that should keep Marcus Rashford out of this season, I would really pray it happens, because he is not here to help us. And today, you're going to see a different attack of Man United, because Garnacho will run back, track back, go ahead and redo the need, although sometimes really selfish. But I think in the recent games, he has going to have to improve onto his ball distribution, or sorry, on his end game product into the game of football that he plays at Man United. For Antony, he's improving, and he has always gone ahead to demand for a start. Ten Hag has gone ahead to give it to him, and behind that, he knows that there is a player that has gone ahead to show pure quality, and Ten Hag went ahead to hail him yesterday onto the Manchester United TV that he's really good and his progress is really doing great. That he's Amad Diallo, and I tell you what, Amad Diallo is gonna give Antony a run for that position in these remaining games. If Antony doesn't raise up, this guy will come off the bench and the rest will be history, I tell you. So when you look at Rasmus Højlund, obviously it is months since he last scored, because he last scored in February when he got an injury. You know, he had gone ahead to score in 6 consecutive Premier League games and he scored 7 goals. Now he's still tied at 13 and are waiting to see whether he obviously continues to obviously get onto the score sheet. And I think he just needs 1 goal to get his confidence back. He just needs 1 goal like this, and if at all that 1 goal comes in through, I think it will really give him a chance to obviously orchestrate and really do the needful into that position. So for me, all I want is to see Dalot overlapping well and really putting in crosses. For Bissaka, I don't expect any crosses because he's on his weak foot, meaning that when he's really trying to obviously play in a cross, he has to turn onto his right foot. You know, he cannot do an immediate cross using his left foot. So that is Aaron Wan-Bissaka for you. So those are the people that are going to be named in the starting 11 of Man United. But the biggest concern is here. This guy, Eriksson, can he really help us have that compactness in the midfield? But when you're at Old Trafford, when you front this squad, I tell you what, you have to annihilate Sheffield. I think this is the kind of game that comes in through when you have to announce ourselves as a team that is really ready to really destroy this Sheffield side. Why? Burnley is on the way. And I think if we can go ahead and really put 5 goals past Sheffield, Burnley knocks on the door and we put 5 past them, that will give us more confidence as we prepare to play the team. I think we'll be playing Crystal Palace away in London. And you know what happens in London. We haven't gone ahead to get a win, right? Against Crystal Palace. We've only gone ahead to win one team away in London. That is only a team that goes by the names of Fulham. That is it. So it's really going to be a hard game for the club of Man United. And I really believe we can really win it because this time round we are at Old Trafford and I think we can do better. Now, when we look at Sheffield, they've gone with a 3-5-2 system with Foderingham in goal. Holgate is being played onto the right side of the 3-man central defense. Trusty, formerly at Arsenal, is being played on the left side of the 3-man central defense. And Hamedilizic, playing into the center of the 3-man central defense. Then Jebogo, right wing back. Brooks is playing as a left wing back. Then Osborne, Blaster and Hammer into the midfield 3. Then Brereton, right, and Archer leading the line. Watch out for this guy, shirt number 10, Archer. He's really good and puts in a very good shift into that beautiful game of football. When I go to the bench and I look at the players that might come on through, I think Sofiane Amrabat will have a chance to come on through. Diallo will have a chance to come on through. Scott McTominay will have a chance to get in through. Fosan Omor will have a chance to get in through. And the player I expect to get a debut today, if at all you're really playing very well and we are like 3 goals up, Harry Amaz might obviously find himself getting into the ilk to play like 15 minutes to really launch him as that decent left back for the club of Man United. And with rumors making rounds around Old Trafford, or bubbling around Old Trafford, that United are looking in for a left back because we're going to be having very many left backs injured this season, Manchester United has come out and really done that due diligence to obviously say we are not going to come out and really put in what you people think, but all we are going to do is simple. We are going to come out and really give this youngster a chance to come in through and really get into the team of Man United. And that is really very important to note, that the team of Man United looks like they're really ready to obviously see to it that they come up and do the needful into that team. So we are waiting to see how that happens, but I'm having Joseph Sessay. Man United will win today, but Ten Hag should not use Eriksen. Eriksen is already into the midfield. I think it's one of those red flags. What has Amrabat done? However much he hasn't gone ahead to feature very many times, but I think he's a better player than Eriksen in that role. Let him be as a sitting CDM and let Kobe Mainoo be our box-to-box midfielder to apply that energy onto that team. So we just can't wait to see how things are really going to pan out. But Manchester United is really going to be doing the needful into that game. Ten Hag has come out and said we didn't have so many options to say make rotation. We don't have so, although they've played 120 minutes, they have to do it again. And so on Saturday against Burnley, they have to do it again. So Ten Hag is like, we don't have very many options as a club of Man United. That's why United has gone ahead to make, I think, 2 changes. From the starting 11 that went ahead to start against Coventry, we've gone ahead to see Antony coming in for Rashford and Eriksen coming in for Scott McTominay. But Scott McTominay is onto the bench, and we all know that rotation was hugely needed by the club of Man United. And you really want to see to it that maybe on Saturday, then this boy called McTominay will come in through to play part into that beautiful game of football. So for me, all in all, United has to beat this team because it's really seated on the bottom of the Premier League table. And how come we cannot beat it? If we cannot beat it, then it's going to raise lots of alarms at the side of Erik ten Hag. And one thing that will silence everyone Is Erik ten Hag going ahead to obviously beat this team? And let's annihilate it and obviously walk away with a comfortable win. But before we think about a comfortable win, all you have to think about is 3 points. That is it. Because if we don't get in those 3 points, I tell you what, it's not gonna come in through to give us levels that we deserve as a club of Man United. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Let me obviously end this poll. All of you have gone ahead to call in for a win of Man United. So let's pray to it that it happens that way. I'm gonna return with the match reaction after this game of football is done and dusted. Rock and David remains my name. You have been watching the United Matters channel. And we are out. Thank you, Joseph, for watching through. We are going to return when the game is done and dusted to see how these players of Man United have gone ahead to feature in here. But continue to subscribe because we want to hit 18,000 subscribers before the end of this match. I'm out.